Cristian, how do you feel about the new facility?
I'm thrilled. I mean, it's such a work of art, and
Yeah.
I know Schmetz is probably the most proud because he's been here the longest. He's a little bit older than us.
Steph, how was the grass? Is it softer than Starfire?
So far, so good, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't complain. No, excited.
Nobody can complain.
No, definitely not.
Nobody can complain. We're obviously all happy to be here. We're happy to break this in, the new digs for our press conferences. This is pretty nice. I hope it works for you, Jackson. Chris,
He looks comfortable. Very
good to see you. Sorry. Good to see you. Hope you're doing okay. All right. Okay. All right, that's it, I think. Hi, Kelly.
As we get into questions here, I'll just ask photographers in the back, are we okay levels-wise? Okay, we're great. Giselle Pichardo has the mic. We have a wireless mic coming around. As always, we'll get to your questions. Show of hands is always helpful. Jeremiah, I saw you first.
Yeah, I guess, Brian, when you think back to, the era when from the sound of it, you weren't even sure where you were training on a given week, to know that you're having a facility like this. I mean, what are the emotions like?
Yeah, it hit me this morning as I was driving in, thinking about everything. I'd go through in chronological order. My memory's gonna miss out a few things, but Renton Stadium, close by, Boeing 737 jet engines, not being able to listen to Alan and Bobby Howe give us instructions. The train is obviously prevalent there, but I mean, back then we had jet engines that were literally right by the stadium, and we had to play through that. We trained in the Kingdome for a while. I mean, that was kind of cool. It was iconic. Memorial Stadium, obviously. Then in the USL days, well, actually in '96, we actually were at 60 acres for a little bit too. When the rebirth of the field, Sounders came. I remember, bringing my truck after working in the construction business, pulling up, put my shorts on, jumping onto the field with, Chance and Jason Farrell and Billy Crook and some of those guys. Fast forward to, when Adrian took over, down at Starfire, which was great. It was a great facility. I saw your article, Jada. Thank you. It was a nice article. And now we're here, and it's super motivating, I would say. I know some people were maybe concerned that maybe we, lose track of certain things. The Starfire piece certainly was really good with touch points with the public, but we're going to have those events here. We're going to make sure that this place is accessible to our fans. I think the guys are planning even dedicated days with season ticket holders and other things. So we'll make sure that we don't lose track of what's important, which the relationship of the players, these players and the fans. That's what the club is all about. So interesting, great, Jeremiah. It's been a long ride, Cristian, but certainly I'm very pleased and happy for whoever comes in our places for the next 50 years.
We'll go to Tim next and then Jackson.
For Stefan, Cristian, from a player perspective, what is among the biggest things that you see as being advantageous to being here that maybe you just didn't have space or availability for over at Starfire?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing would be space. I mean, we were quite confined at Starfire. I think we outgrew that place a little bit. Our players' lounge was tiny. Our gym was outside in a tent, whether it was just freezing temperature or it was super boiling hot. You were doing that stuff in a tent. So I think, for one, it was good because over the first 50 years of this franchise, it built character. We're famous for never quitting and working our butts off, and that's going to continue. But now, moving into a facility like this where we have the space, and for me personally, I see the details everywhere. You know, I mean, we're in this room right here, which you could easily cut corners in, but I see details everywhere. And when we talk about, I know goalkeepers, we always talk about the details. We're trying to grind down the inches. Where's your foot? Where's your placement? Where's your hands? What's your, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so if you're surrounded by a facility where there has been no shortcuts and there's details everywhere, it motivates you. Like Schmetzer said, it motivates you to dedicate to the details on the field for yourself as well, and to apply that to your craft. So right now everything is sunny and shiny too. I'm excited to be grinding in here, because when you have to go through tough times and be in the gym and put in the extra work, then I think the value of this facility will come through even more. I could go on and on, but I'll let Christian add to that.
Yeah, we talk about, internally we've talked about, the standards, right? The standards that you set. Adrian and the rest of the ownership group have created the standards with this facility, and now it's our responsibility to continue with those standards and put in those extra inches, extra bit of sweat into our workouts or our recovery, and that's going to pay off when we're in the 80th, 9th minute. And so as much as or how glamorous this is, it's a place where we're going to get sweaty and grind out and recover during a midweek game, and having to travel from place to place, and where we're going to put in the extra 5%, extra 10% to get that W on the weekend.
And they have a lot of new toys. Cryo, bigger sauna, the cold pool. I mean, they got a lot of stuff for recovery.
Jackson.
Yeah, Christian, Steph, let's talk about those toys. From the freezer to the tubs to the sauna that has a TV in it. When you guys first came in here, what were your favorite aspects, that maybe one or two things that initially popped and you thought about on the drive home, like, wow, we have that?
I love how you call it freezer. I'm going to call it freezer from now on. The one thing that I'm super pumped about is our players' lounge. We're going to have. We just had actually first chance to meet the staff, the cooks, and the people that will be helping us there, and that's huge. I mean, our breakfast we had this morning felt like we were at an incredible resort somewhere. So we certainly will not take any of that for granted. But nutrition for example, is a big part of recovery for athletes. And so when you have the help here, it's going to make your job so much easier. So I was really stoked to see that. I think all the other things we'll kind of get to enjoy as we go. Christian and I had to run over here and do this, so we haven't had a chance to do the cryo or the freezer or sauna or anything like that. But that's it, right? You're going to be excited to do those things. It's not like, oh, I got to jump in a cold tub. It encourages you to be ultra professional, and that's what really helps with this facility.
Yeah, and what I would add to that is we've now created an environment where you want people to stay longer, right? To recover, to do the little things to prevent an injury, or to, make that last-ditch tackle in the 90th minute. That extra 30 minutes of being here is going to make a difference, right? And we talked about, or we have an hyperbaric chamber as well. We've got the boots, a recovery room. So those things are just going to help us, going forward into the season. We've talked about how many games there are in a season, and you need to have healthy bodies. So really going to be important for us to take advantage of all those new toys that you mentioned.
We'll go over to Dave here. And Jeremiah, I saw your hand too.
There's a lot of new history and art on the walls here. Is there a piece that you've seen so far, any or all of you, that kind of sticks out, that you're like, oh yeah, that moment in time, or that piece of art that's been on the wall or in a corner?
Ticket stub for the first game. Saw that. Pretty cool.
I mean, I haven't had a chance to really go around. There's so much. You get lost everywhere. But it was really nice to see our trophies out today. That's what we're here for, and exceptionally proud to have had a chance to win some trophies, but it also is motivating to want to win more.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that wall, I think, is considered, or the hallway is considered hallway of champions, right? And every time, for me at least, you're going to walk in and out of that hallway every single day. And so it's a great reminder to, the last thought going into training is, remember, this is the hallway of champions, and you got to practice like one.
We'll go Jeremiah, then Felipe, then Nico. Thanks for waiting.
I had heard that Starfire referred to as sort of like the best kept secret in MLS, in that it was maybe not up to the standard that the organization sometimes felt it like held itself to. And I'm wondering if, in the opposite sense, how long is this going to be a secret to other players in terms of as a recruiting tool and wanting to come here? And how much difference does that stuff end up really making when you're deciding where you want to play?
I mean, yeah, we have used different recruiting tools, starting with the beauty of the Pacific Northwest. And then certainly winning helps. Players all want to play for winning teams, big ambitions. You heard Pedro's quotes the other day. I would think that this is going to be a massive help. I think when players step through this, they'll be excited. But I'd be curious to hear, as players, I mean, does it really matter that much? I mean, is it more money, playing opportunities, the teams? I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, for people that watch us play, they see a 10th or a 20th of the work that we do, and in the stadium, and we're blessed with amazing crowd in our stadium and good atmosphere. That's amazing. But for us, our bread and butter, we do the most of the stuff here, and so this is like where you have your second family, and if you get to live that and work in an environment like this, I mean, they better be using this as a recruiting tool. This is, you walk anybody that's on the fence through this facility, they won't be on the fence anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember for me, going to away games, you see these fancy new facilities and you get a little bit jealous, right? You come back to Starfire and you're going to work out in a gym, right? And in a tent essentially. And so for me, it was always that, last bit that we needed, right? To not only create a great environment for our players, but recruit players, right? This is where we spend 90% of our time, and it does play a huge factor. I want to go into the facility and not want to leave, right? And that's the goal, and here we have that now.
Felipe.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Coach Alex and Stefan, I'm pretty sure you guys have played in dirt from when you were playing in youth. Coach, you just talked about the past of the Sounders. Coming from those fields to Starfire, now to these great facilities, how these facilities are going to make the team to perform better? Because at the end of the day, what the fans want are trophies. So how is these great facilities are going to help the team to achieve that goal?
Well, I think we've talked about it a little bit. I mean, it will inspire. It will motivate. I think the players and the training staff and the fitness staff will have all of the tools or toys to make sure that we can perform and play at a high level.
Yeah, I would say this is a challenge for the players now. This facility asks something of you now to find the next level, because I'd argue that the standard of the Sounders has been quite good at a average or below average facility. Well, now what if you have a state-of-the-art facility? I think it's a challenge for the squad to find the next level. Well, that's how I view it. So because whatever you need, it's at your fingertips. It's the question of how bad do you want it. I think discipline, for me, I've been reading quotes. So discipline is your unwavering commitment to your dreams and goals. And it's much easier now to be disciplined when you have all these toys and all these things that are right here. And so, what are our dreams? What are our goals? And then go after it.
Nico.
Bit of a two-parter. Relative to Starfire, in your opinion, what would be the biggest upgrade as far as details coming into the Long Acres facility?
Oh, you want me to answer? Is it a two-parter?
Two-parter, yeah.
Okay, I'll answer the first one. Look, Starfire at the time was great. I mean, it launched us in a good way. Yeah, we outgrew it for sure, but I mean, it started off very well, and we were excited. There was a new grass field, and it was a new facility, the new club, all of that. The biggest upgrade is, again, just in the layer of details and the ability for these players to get everything that they need to perform at a high level.
And how would you say the dynamic changes with the addition of the barber chair at Long Acres?
Well, he's the resident barber. You can ask him.
Yeah, it might create some drama, to be honest. If we bring a barber in, you know, I might feel like some of the guys are cheating on me in terms of haircuts. So, no, it's gonna be great, and hopefully the guys are feeling a little bit faster after some haircuts. So, hopefully it adds an advantage.
It's a silly thing, like the barber's, chair or whatnot, but the longer players spend time in here, the more we grow together as well. And that's kind of the whole point, right? If you don't want to be in a space and everybody leaves, I think we always got along really well. We've always been able to knock down barriers and such. But the longer guys want to stay here and bond, the more we're going to be willing to go through the ringer together. And so again, a facility like this and a little banter with the in-house barber will be perfect for things like that.
We'll come over to Jada, and then I did see a few follow-ups, which is great.
Steph, I just wanted to ask a little bit about tonight, the sports player of the year honor. I might be saying the category wrong, but how do you feel about being nominated and being in a category like that, or a field like that?
Oh, tremendous honor. I mean, honestly, don't know what I did last year to deserve that. But yeah, I've had the pleasure to go to that event a few times. And I think I've told the story before that I think the very first time my wife and I went, we checked in our coat, and Detlef Schrempf came up and wanted to say hi to me. And I almost lost it. My wife afterwards like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, that's Detlef Schrempf. So it's kind of a special place. It's pretty cool to see some legends there get recognized, and then you hear some really motivational, some awesome stories from not just the main sports, but that you always read about in the news, but local Olympians, rowers. There was, I think, one. She was, I want to say, in her early 20s, and she was a Olympic canoe winner, and at like 21 or 22, so it made me feel like I hadn't done anything in my life. But it's incredible. So I'm exceptionally honored. I think UW's gonna clean all of that up, rightfully so. But I'm looking forward to the event. It's always fun.
All right, we'll go back to Tim here.
Christian, there's been some talk about this facility potentially being a base camp for some country in 2026 with games being here. From what you experienced in Qatar, I'm wondering how maybe this stacks up to that, and what are some of the things that, having gone through that with the national team, players are looking for to have.
Well, it has everything that we didn't have. We had it at our hotel, but we didn't have it at our facility. And so this can almost act as a hotel and facility in a way, right? Players are probably not going to want to leave, right, to get the extra recovery, especially during a World Cup where you're playing, 3 games in 8 days, and you're having to recover very fast. So it has all the neat toys that we mentioned earlier. Has the space to do different types of activations, meetings, and gym lifts, and it's obviously state of the art, but for us, at the national team level, you want that 1% more, right? To win a World Cup, and a facility like this can definitely give you an advantage.
We'll stay over here with Dave.
Coach, in the past, when a player went down and was injured during practice, Defiance was almost a half mile away, practically, at Starfire. What's it like now? They're integrated, the facility, their lockers are next door, practice fields.
It's great. It's great. The progress that we've made, getting Academy kids, Defiance kids, integrated with the first team, I think we've made great strides throughout the years. We always enjoy having some of the young kids come up. Obviously, we don't want them to come up just because somebody went down with an injury, but calling them up, having them in the same building. H was in our coaches meeting this morning. All of that stuff is going to, again, be multiplied by 10 in this facility. We'll just do a better job at integrating people. It'll be nice for us as coaches. Like maybe our training session was over a little bit earlier today, and I would have walked over to see what Defiance was doing, what they were working on, some of the kids there. So it'll flow that way as well. So I think it's just another opportunity for us to grow together as an organization.
Jada, we'll come to you, and then Jackson, thanks for waiting patiently. We'll come back your way too.
Christian, I'm just kind of a little bit more curious about the barber shop. Were you cutting hair at Starfire too, or can you give a little background on your hairstyling?
Yeah, I would definitely cut some hair at Starfire, on the road as well. But yeah, I do it out of love and appreciation. I don't do it for the money. I definitely want to bless my clients with a nice haircut and make them feel good, right? That's the goal. But yeah, I did it over there, and whoever was willing to take a free haircut, I was willing to cut them, and this would be a great excuse to, again, bless my teammates with a haircut. Braiding, no, I'll have to learn. But I think there's only 2 guys on our team, or 3 guys on our team that do braids. I did, yeah. Not a actual barber chair. So that'll be a huge upgrade for me. Don't want to be slouching and have bad posture. So, and being able to rotate and have a mirror and nice lighting, it's going to make a big difference.
All right, Jackson, over to you.
Guys, I'd love to talk about the 2+ weeks you spent in Spain, and for you especially, Coach. But did you all accomplish the goals that you had going into those couple of weeks over there?
I'll let you guys answer this one first.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I probably went back to Marbella to begin with was because the facility was pretty good. It was very close to the hotel. You could walk down there. Sometimes in preseason it's tough when you're stuck in a hotel and you have to bus for 10 minutes to the field, and then you're all stiff, and then you're supposed to go, and Tommy wants to do a little extra, but everybody has to get back on the bus at the same time. So Marbella kind of allows you to focus a little bit more on what do individual players need. Do they need to be down there a bit earlier so they can do activation properly? We were able to get a lot of work done in the gym as well. So I think it was productive. It also allows you to play some teams, obviously, that you have no idea about. Would argue that we got some different styles that we had to play against. The Serbian team was quite aggressive. Middle team we handled well, and third was a good lesson for us. But that's what preseason is for, to try to grow, to try out new things, and get ready for the season when things truly will matter. But happy to be home now. And obviously in a state-of-the-art facility again.
Yeah, I think we definitely made a lot of progress. I mean, I saw it from today's training, playing through tight spaces, willingness to play through the middle. You see guys kind of looking for each other a lot more. And I think that was a work in progress, obviously from the first day of preseason, but really kind of dialed it in Marbella, and there's going to be things that we still need to iron out. But I think the relationship, we created a really good relationship on the field, and hopefully we can continue to make progress, because we can reach another level, whether that's just training or on the field, or getting a little bit more chemistry within the group. But Marbella was great for that, and I think we had a lot of dinners to be able to kind of talk to our teammates and bond a little bit more and get to know some of our newer guys.
Life on the road was pretty good in Marbella. It's a nice, beautiful part of the world. I think we checked a lot of boxes. Number one, the guys came in fitter than they were in years past. Adam was giving me the data, so kudos to them. I think the games were competitive. They were hard, a little different style. I mean, maybe some little niggly fouls when Christian would try and run by a guy. They'd hold him. They'd try and slow him down. I mean, it was good in that sense. And yes, the third game was a little bit of an eye-opener for us. I mean, it was not bad to take a result there like that. I think you could call it concentration or togetherness or whatever you want to do. They had a lot of time to bond, which I think is always good. We had the carrot of the Club World Cup last year, and then this year we had the opening of this facility as something to look forward to. The guys were attentive. They worked. Everybody was on the same page. Christian talked a little bit about some of the new tactics we were trying to get across, that doing it in the summer, or not in the summer, in the sun on a good grass field where, you could really stop, start, coach, all of that. So we hit checked a lot of boxes there, Jackson.
All right, we got time for a couple more. Yeah, we'll go back there. Yep, and then Felipe, I see you. Jade, I see you too.
Well, I'm from Estrella TV, a Spanish network in Central Washington, so I'm going to speak to you, Christian, in Spanish. So, ¿qué significa estar en una instalación como esta? Tú que eres hispano y sabemos lo mucho que significa para nosotros el fútbol. ¿Qué le decimos a esas nuevas generaciones que también quieren venir y todo el camino que se recorrió en el club para llegar aquí?
Pues primero, las instalaciones son bonitos, orgulloso de ser parte de un equipo que tiene metas así de grande. Y hablando de metas así de grande, cuando yo era joven, yo quería estar jugando en LA Galaxy, viendo a David Beckham, practicando, y ahora tenemos la oportunidad de tener esos jóvenes aquí viendo nuestros entrenamientos y apoyando a nosotros y teniendo esa motivación que deben que tener, ¿no? Y bueno, yo creo que la escuela es bien importante, pero también se puede llegar ahí con el fútbol, y teniendo instalaciones así nos va a ayudar, y ojalá que podemos participar un poco más en nuestra ciudad, porque nuestra ciudad son la gente que nos apoyan tanto.
For anyone needing translation, we'll do so on the back end. Thank you for your question. Felipe, we'll go to you next.
So es para Cristian. Cristian, pues ya recorriste las instalaciones. ¿Cuál es tu lugar favorito, y también cómo le van a hacer para poner la música en el vestidor?
Pues Raúl ya puso la música rapidito. Él era el primero que halló el Bluetooth. Y para mí mi lugar favorito es el lugar para los jugadores, donde comemos. Me encanta la comida, me encanta el café, estando con mis hermanos, mi familia. Pues la verdad, yo viendo un partido de Champions League en ese cuarto con mis amigos va a ser mi lugar favorito, pero la verdad tengo ganas de estar aquí para mucho tiempo, porque están tan bonitos.
Jada, we'll go your way next.
Brian, one of the details seemed to be on the television with the match day -4, which I'm assuming is for the scrimmage on Saturday, or is that just is that going to be like a consistent to have that up on the screens and everywhere, and how does that kind of help?
We'll have their schedule up on the screens. We actually did that at Starfire as well. Match day -4, yes, designates 4 days till match day, -3, -2, -1, and we have different training rhythms, different physical outputs we want to hit on those days, along with the tactics that we do.
And so at Starfire, I was just kind of curious how that is different here versus when it was at
The same.
Starfire. It's about
It's the same.
Just TV.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, we'll take maybe one more here from Jeremiah.
More TVs.
I suppose this might be a good thing to end on, but I know you seems like you probably aren't wanting for anything, but is there a ping pong table? Is there some other kind of thing that you're hoping to bring in, or maybe we didn't see that, like non-soccer related?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but you know, there's a pickleball potentially in the works, you know, and I know some of the guys on our team would love that. So Adrian, I hope you're watching this interview, because I know the boys would really bond over that. So.
I mean, I think the ping pong table is coming somewhere again. That's always been fun, even for people who don't play ping pong, to just see Joao lose his mind when his fellow Brazilian puts him down a notch. No, I mean, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface of figuring out what this facility has to offer. Like I said, Christian and I haven't even. We walked by the tubs and the guys in tubs, and we were jealous that they were in a tub. So I don't think we'll have to make too many additions. It seems to be amazing. So.